The air was dry and heavy inside the ruined city. Strange blue stones lined the broken streets and faded alien markings covered the cracked walls. Leo, a human explorer wearing a dusty survival suit, walked slowly through the quiet ruins with a scanner in his hand. The scanner beeped every few seconds, reacting to an unusual energy signal hidden somewhere deep underground. He had been alone on this planet for 5 days. It was supposed to be uninhabited, just another ancient world, filled with the remains of a lost alien civilization. But something here felt different. The scanner had picked up a soft but constant energy pulse, and it had led him to this place, a half-collapsed dome surrounded by massive stone pillars. Leo stepped inside the dome. The air changed. It felt warmer, softer. There was no wind here, no sound except the low hum coming from below. At the center of the dome was a staircase made of smooth, glowing tiles, going down into darkness. He hesitated. "Well," he muttered to himself, "I've come this far." With a deep breath, he walked down the steps, one at a time. The walls lit up slowly as he moved, reacting to his presence. The light was gentle, like morning sunlight. He reached the bottom and stepped into a round chamber. The walls were lined with crystal panels. In the center, something floated. No, someone. A cocoon made of light hovered in the middle of the room. Inside it was a girl, an alien girl. She looked young and peaceful, with pale blue skin that shimmered faintly. Her long, silver-white hair floated softly around her face. Her ears were small and shaped a little like an elf's. She looked asleep, but not in pain, not in danger, just resting, as if waiting. Leo took a careful step forward. The moment he did, the room grew brighter. The cocoon began to open. He raised his hand and stepped back, unsure of what was happening. But there was no threat. The light faded slowly and the girl gently opened her eyes. She looked straight at him and smiled, a kind, gentle smile. "You're finally here," she said softly. Leo froze. Her voice was clear. Her words were perfect English. But how? Who was she? And why did she speak like she knew him? I think you're mistaken," he said, confused. "Do I know you?" The girl stood slowly. She was wearing a simple dress made of glowing fabric that seemed to shimmer with the same color as the room. Her soft, natural beauty and calm face made her look like something from a dream. She tilted her head slightly as if studying him. "You don't remember," she said, almost like she was expecting this. "But I do." Leo lowered his scanner. "Who are you?" "My name is Arya," she replied. "And you came here a long time ago. You made a promise. One you've forgotten." Leo shook his head. "No, I've never been here before." Arya gently walked toward a crystal pedestal nearby. She touched it with her hand and a glowing orb rose into the air. Inside it, moving pictures appeared, like a memory. Leo saw a man who looked exactly like him, wearing a military uniform. He was lying injured, and alien figures surrounded him, kind and peaceful, not hostile. Among them was Arya. She was younger, in the image holding his hand. "This is you," she said. "You were hurt. We saved you. You stayed with us for weeks. We became close. Then you had to leave, and to protect you, we erased your memory." Leo stared at the image. His mouth went dry. It looked so real, but it felt impossible. "Why didn't you leave?" he asked. "I made a promise too," Arya said softly. "To stay here and wait for you. Our world was ending. I was the last of my people. This chamber kept me alive, until your return." Leo felt a strange weight in his chest. Something about her words, her eyes, touched a deep part of him he couldn't explain. Still, the logic in his mind struggled. "I don't remember any of that." "You will," she said calmly. "Now that we are together again, the truth will come back to you." The scanner in Leo's hand began to beep faster. The energy around them was growing. Something ancient had been awakened, and now everything was starting to change. Leo sat on a smooth stone bench inside the glowing chamber. His eyes kept going back to the memory orb Arya had shown him. It still floated in the air, repeating the same scene, him lying wounded, Arya holding his hand, speaking to him softly. He felt strange watching it, like he was watching someone else but also himself. Arya sat nearby. Her calm face gave no sign of worry. She had waited so long, yet she didn't seem angry or sad, only patient. "Why didn't I remember anything?" Leo asked. "It wasn't your choice," Arya replied gently. "My people used a memory seal to protect you. They feared others might find out what happened here." Leo ran a hand through his short dark hair. "You're telling me I was part of what? A mission gone wrong?" Arya stood and slowly walked to a wall covered in symbols. As she touched it, more images appeared, this time of her planet. Once it had been full of life, cities floating in the sky, lush green lands filled with tall crystal trees. Her people had been peaceful and wise, working with energy and nature instead of machines. Then came war. "They came from the stars," she said. "A cruel empire. They destroyed what they couldn't control. We were proud, but we were not strong enough." Leo saw the fall of the cities, the sky turning dark, the enemy's ships burning everything. It reminded him of old war footage back on Earth, but this was different. It was more than destruction, it was extinction. "You were one of the last humans to visit before the end," Arya continued. "You were injured in a crash. My people helped you. You stayed with us during our final days. You and we shared something important." Leo looked at her. "But I left." "Yes," Arya nodded. "Your people called you back, and to protect both our kinds your memory was sealed. I was placed in stasis. I was the keeper of our last hope. The knowledge, the history, and the bond we shared." Leo stood up. His heart was beating fast now. "This can't be real. How could I forget something so big, someone like you?" "You didn't forget," she said softly. "It was hidden. But now, because you returned, it will begin to awaken." Suddenly, the chamber lights pulsed. A deep hum filled the air. The scanner in Leo's hand blinked red. "What's happening?" "You activated the heart of the chamber," Arya said, stepping beside him. "Only you could do that. Your DNA still carries the key. That is why I said you're finally here." Leo stared at his hand. How could someone like him, just a scout, a simple human explorer, be part of something this big? "I'm not a hero," he said. "You don't have to be a hero," Arya replied with a kind smile. "You just have to remember who you are." Before Leo could respond, a loud sound echoed through the chamber, a sharp mechanical noise like metal grinding. "Someone else is here," Arya whispered. Her smile faded. Leo raised his scanner. A signal was coming from above, moving toward them fast. He looked up at the stairs. Dust fell from the ceiling. "Who would follow me all the way out here?" Leo asked. "Not all who follow mean to help," Arya said. "There are those who hunt the past. They search for this chamber. For me." Leo's jaw tightened. "Then we need to move." Arya nodded and led him to the far wall. She placed her hand on a hidden panel. A section of the wall slid open, revealing a narrow passage lit by small white lights. "This way," she said. They stepped into the tunnel. It felt older than the chamber, rough and cold. The walls were made of dark stone and humming wires. The sounds from above grew louder. Whoever was coming was getting closer. As they walked, Leo asked, "Why didn't you leave? You could have escaped with your knowledge." "I stayed because I had hope," Arya said. "Hope that you would return. Hope that together we could restore what was lost." Leo didn't know what to say. He barely understood what he had seen so far, yet something inside him believed her. She didn't seem like someone who lied. Her presence, her eyes, everything about her felt true. After a few minutes, they reached a round chamber with an old transport pod. "This will take us to the surface," Arya said. "But after that, We must run. They will not stop. Leo looked at her. Then we'll run together. As the pod powered up, Leo stood beside her, gripping his scanner tight. He still didn't understand everything. But one thing was clear. He wasn't just an explorer anymore, and this journey was far from over. The transport pod shook slightly as it moved upward through a narrow tunnel. Inside, Leo stood silently beside Arya. She was calm, her hands resting in front of her, eyes closed. Leo, on the other hand, kept checking his scanner. The signal from the unknown followers was still there. They were not far behind. The pod stopped with a soft click. A hatch opened, revealing the outside world, a broken surface covered in strange glowing moss, large shattered statues, and twisted towers. The sky above was cloudy, and a pale sun barely lit the ground. They had surfaced in what looked like an old alien garden, now forgotten and wild. Arya stepped out first. We are on the edge of the city ruins now. We must keep moving. Leo followed her. Do you know where we're going? There's an old control site in the hills, she said. It holds what remains of our defense systems. We may find help or answers. As they walked, Leo noticed how the machines and plants around them reacted to Arya's presence. Vines moved aside, stone gates opened without touch. Even the wind seemed to soften around her. You're connected to this place, Leo said. Arya gave a small smile. Yes. My people built this world using energy that responds to thought and feeling. It knows me. It may still know you too. Leo was about to ask more when his scanner beeped loudly. A red signal flashed. Trouble, he said. They've landed. 2 ships, small ones but fast. Arya looked into the sky. Scouts. They're not here to talk. Suddenly, the ground behind them shook. A sharp noise cut through the air. From the far end of the garden, 2 figures in dark armor appeared. They moved quickly, carrying long pulse rifles. Run! Leo shouted. They ran through a broken archway into an open field. Leo used his scanner to send a quick jam signal behind them. It slowed the enemy's tracking for a moment. They entered what remained of an old temple. Inside, the air felt charged with energy. Large crystal plates floated above the floor, spinning slowly. This place was once a heart station, Arya said. It stored power and knowledge. Leo touched one of the floating crystals. It glowed bright. Suddenly, a beam of light shot out from the ground and scanned his body. What's happening? He asked. The system is reading you, Arya said, surprised. You still carry the code. The entire temple began to shake. The floor lit, up in circles. The walls glowed. The old machines had come to life. Arya stared at him, her eyes wide. You've reactivated the core. What does that mean? Leo asked. It means you're more than a visitor now, she said. The planet accepts you as part of its memory. From the glowing floor, a tall figure formed, a projection of an ancient alien elder. It spoke in a language Leo didn't understand, but Arya did. He says your link is complete. You were chosen, not by chance but by purpose. Leo frowned. I was chosen for what? To carry the last connection between our people and yours, Arya said. To awaken this world if hope ever returned. More of the temple opened. A hidden door revealed a narrow tunnel glowing with soft white light. We must go, Arya said. The enemy will follow, but this path will lead us to a place they cannot enter. As they stepped into the tunnel, the crystal plates floated. After them, still spinning, Leo looked at his hand. A faint symbol had appeared on his skin, glowing softly like a circuit. What is this? It's the mark of the bond, Arya said. You are now joined with this world's core systems. I didn't agree to this. Arya turned to him with a soft voice. Neither did I long ago. But it's not something to fear, it's something to carry with pride. They reached a chamber at the end of the tunnel. Inside stood a large round device with many arms and a central chair. This is a command interface, Arya explained. If you sit there, it may show You what still sleeps beneath the surface. Leo hesitated, then sat in the chair. At once, the room filled with light. Images flashed before him. Cities under the sand. Machines buried in the hills. Energy lines still active, waiting. And then, a vision of warships, his peoples, arriving above the planet in the future. He opened his eyes. Earth? They're coming here? Yes, Arya said. Your people are searching, and soon they will find this place. Leo stood up. Then we need to be ready. As the machine shut down, the ground trembled again. Arya turned to him. Your journey has just begun, and the enemy won't stop until you are silenced. Leo looked toward the tunnel exit, his jaw tight. Then let them come. Outside the hidden chamber. The wind had picked up. Dust and glowing leaves moved through the air like silent warnings. Leo and Arya stood just beyond the old temple ruins, looking toward the distant hills where the ancient control site waited. But they had no time to enjoy the view. Behind them, the enemy scouts were still searching. They will not give up, Arya said, her voice low. They know what we're trying to reach. Leo tightened the straps of his gear. Then we stay, one step ahead. They crossed through the broken forest that had once been a garden. Strange trees with crystal branches bent slightly as they passed, almost guiding their path. Arya moved with quiet confidence, knowing where to step. Leo followed closely, his eyes scanning every direction. Why do they want the control site? So badly? He asked. Arya looked back at him. Because it holds the last piece of the world's defense core. If they get it first, they can erase all signs of what my people once were. And if we get there, then we can awaken what still sleeps. And maybe fight back. The sun began to sink as they reached a rocky slope. Far below, Leo could see a wide open plain with strange, smooth stones set in lines. Beyond it stood a tall structure shaped like a half-buried tower. That's it, Arya pointed. The control site. Before they could start their descent, a sharp sound echoed through the sky. Leo looked up. Two small, dark ships flew above, the ruins scanning the ground with red light beams. They're looking for us, he said. No, Arya said with worry. They've already found us. The ships turned and began flying directly toward the slope. Run, Leo shouted. They raced down the slope, sliding on loose rock and dirt. Behind them, the ships fired warning shots that exploded nearby, shaking the ground. Leo grabbed Arya's hand to steady her as they moved faster. At the bottom of the hill, they reached the stone plain. The surface glowed faintly beneath their feet. Keep going, Arya yelled. Just as the ships closed in, the stones responded to Arya's voice. Energy lines lit up under the ground, forming a shield above them. The blast from the ships bounced off and exploded in the air. They can't break through while the system is active, Arya said, breathing hard. Leo looked around. What did you do? The stone grid was a guardian field, she said. It still listens to me. They crossed the last part of the field and ran to the tall structure. A wide door opened as they approached, revealing a large circular chamber with ancient consoles, glowing rings and floating orbs. Arya placed her hand on the main console. We made it, she whispered. This place was my people's final hope. Leo watched in awe as the entire chamber came alive. Light moved through the walls and a soft hum filled the air. What now? He asked. Arya touched another panel, and a glowing table rose from the center of the room. We wake the system, she said. Leo placed his hand on the table, and at once the glowing symbol on his skin reacted. The lights in the room grew stronger. Images of the planet's energy lines, buried weapons, and defense towers appeared above the table. This is what we need, Arya said. But it will take time to unlock the full control. How much time? Too much, Leo sighed. Then, we fight with what we have. Outside, the enemy ships circled again. More scouts landed nearby. Footsteps echoed through the ruined plain. They're coming on foot, Leo said. We need to defend this place. Arya nodded and activated a side console, the control site's wall sealed, and defense turrets hidden in the ceiling prepared for attack. Leo grabbed an old energy blade stored in the chamber. It felt warm in his hand. Looks like your world just gave me a weapon. Arya smiled faintly. It remembers you. Moments later, the enemy reached the door. They tried to break in with plasma drills, but the structure held firm. One of the turrets opened fire and scattered them. Still, more kept coming. Inside, Arya kept working to unlock the deeper systems. Leo stood by the door, ready. They won't stop, he said. Then neither will we, Arya replied. Outside, the battle was just beginning. But inside the control site, hope had awakened. Leo looked down at his glowing mark. He didn't know what he was becoming, but he knew now that this place needed him, and so did Arya. The sound of the enemy's plasma drills grew louder. The door of the control site trembled with every blast. Leo stood ready, holding the ancient energy blade. It hummed softly in his grip, its light growing stronger with every heartbeat. He had never used anything like it before, but the weapon felt familiar, like it knew what to do even if he didn't. Arya worked quickly at the glowing console behind him. Her fingers danced across symbols as she activated more systems deep within the site. Lines of energy moved through the walls and into the ground outside, forming invisible shields and traps hidden beneath the surface. They're trying to break the locks, she said. I need a few more minutes. Leo nodded. Just keep working. I'll hold them off. A loud crack echoed through the chamber. Part of the outer door finally broke open and a scout drone flew in. It scanned the room quickly, then sent a signal to the rest. Leo stepped forward. With one smooth swing, he slashed through the drone, and it burst into sparks. Seconds later, the real enemy stormed in, 3 figures in black armor holding high-tech weapons. They moved fast, but Leo moved faster. The blade in his hand glowed brighter as he charged. The first enemy fired, but the beam bounced off a small shield that formed around Leo. He struck with precision. One attacker dropped. The others hesitated, surprised at how easily a human fought back. Arya activated a floor trap. The second attacker was caught in a sudden surge of energy, frozen in place. Leo knocked down the last one with the flat of his blade. For a moment, the room was quiet again, but it didn't last. More enemies approached outside. Through the broken door, Leo could see dozens of them gathering, too many to fight alone. We have to leave, he said. Arya shook her head. If we leave now, they will take this place, and everything inside will be lost. Leo clenched his jaw. Then we protect it. Arya turned to the console and placed her palm in a round slot. A low hum filled the air. A new chamber opened. Behind them. Inside was a tall, glowing device. This is the core stabilizer, she said. If you link with it, you can power the full defenses. But it will connect your mind with the system. Will it hurt? Leo asked. I don't know, Arya said honestly. It's never been used by a human before. Leo looked at her, then at the door where more enemies were forcing their way inside. I'll do it, he said. He stepped into the chamber and touched the stabilizer. In an instant, his mind filled with light. He saw visions of the planet, the cities buried under sand, the lives lost and the hopes saved in this place. He felt the sadness of Arya's people, but also their strength. He heard Arya's voice in his mind. You're not just helping me, you're becoming part of this world. The connection was strong but didn't hurt. The system accepted him. It welcomed him. Back in the main room, Arya watched as the control panels lit up with new colors. The outer defenses activated fully. Heavy blast doors sealed the entrance. Auto turrets rose from the walls and began firing outside. Leo stepped out, his eyes glowing faintly with energy. The symbol on his hand now extended up his arm like living. Light, it worked, Arya whispered. Leo nodded. Now let's take the fight to them. Together they moved through hidden tunnels in the control site that led outside. From there, Leo used the system connection in his mind to control several nearby defense towers. Energy cannons rose from the ground and blasted the enemy's ships from the sky. The attackers panicked. Their scouts tried to retreat, but the traps hidden by Arya's people activated, binding them, blinding them, stopping them. Leo and Arya stood in the heart of the broken city, watching as the final wave of attackers fell back. "We won," Leo said, breathing heavily. "For now," Arya replied, "but more will come." Leo looked at her, then at the sky. "Then we'll be ready." The city was damaged, but the heart of the world still beat. And now, with Leo and Arya together, that heart was stronger. As the sun set behind the hills, casting long shadows across the ruins, Leo knew something had changed inside him. He was no longer just a visitor. He was a protector of this world now, bound to it by a forgotten promise and a new purpose. Smoke still floated in the sky above the ruins as Leo and Arya walked through the broken city. The ground was marked by burn lines and cracked stones. The last attack had been hard, but they had survived. Leo could still feel the energy of the ancient system moving inside him, guiding his steps. Arya stayed close. She looked around quietly, her eyes full of memories. "This city was once the heart of my people," she said. "Now it's only a shadow." Leo looked at her. "We can bring it back, at least a part of it." She nodded slowly. "There's one more place we need to reach, the final door. It holds the true source of this world's power, but only someone chosen by the system can open it." Leo's glowing mark pulsed on his hand. "Then I guess that's me." They moved carefully through tall arches and down a staircase hidden beneath a fallen statue. Below the city lay a tunnel with walls that shimmered faintly. The silence down there was deep, as if time itself had stopped. After a while, they reached a large round chamber. In the center stood a tall sealed door made of crystal and steel. Strange symbols circled it, and it gave off a soft light. "This is it," Arya whispered. "The final door." Leo stepped forward. As soon as his hand touched the door, the symbols lit up. A deep hum filled the air. The door reacted to his presence just as the machines had before. It slowly opened, revealing a wide chamber filled with floating orbs, moving lights, and a single massive core in the center, shaped like a star. "The heart core," Arya said. "This is what powered everything. This is what the enemy wanted, to control." Leo stepped inside. As he moved closer to the core, the energy in his body responded. The lights became brighter. Then a voice echoed through the chamber, not spoken but felt. "You have returned. You carry the bond. Will you restore the balance?" Leo blinked. I'll try." The core pulsed. Lines of light reached out and touched his arms. In his mind, he saw thousands of memories of Arya's people, their wisdom, their fall, and their dream to rise again. But suddenly, the vision shifted. He saw something worse. A massive enemy fleet. Dozens of warships all heading toward the planet. "They found us," Leo said out loud. Arya's face grew serious. "Your people?" Leo shook his head. "No, not humans. The same ones who destroyed your world before. They're coming back to finish what they started." Arya stepped closer. "Then we must act now." The heart core began to open. Inside it was a control crystal, one that could activate a planet-wide defense, something powerful, enough to stop even an entire fleet. Leo reached for it, but Arya stopped him. "This will take everything," she warned. "The one who activates the core fully may not survive. The energy is too strong for one body." Leo looked at the glowing crystal, then at her. "There has to be another way." "There isn't. That's why it was sealed." He stepped back, thinking. "Then maybe we do it together." Arya looked surprised. "What do you mean?" "We both carry the bond," Leo said. "If we share the connection, maybe it won't destroy either of us." She hesitated. "It's never been tried." He reached out his hand. "Then let's be the first." Arya looked at his hand, then took it slowly. Together, they touched the crystal. A wave of light exploded through the chamber. It wasn't painful, but strong, like standing in a storm of stars. The power of the world flowed through them, but it did not destroy. It connected. Outside, the planet's surface began to change. Long dead towers rose again. Energy shields formed in the skies. Weapons hidden under mountains activated. The old world was waking. The heart core slowly dimmed. Leo and Arya stepped back, both still standing, though their bodies shook. "It worked," Arya whispered. "We did it." Leo smiled. "Now let them come." The sky was clear, and the ground vibrated with the power of the ancient systems now awakening across the planet. Leo and Arya stood side by side, watching as towers, shields, and weapons slowly powered up. The heart core had done its job, restoring the planet's defenses, but in the distance the enemy fleet was still coming. Leo could see the dark shapes in the sky, dozens of warships, massive and threatening, closing in fast. "We've done everything we can," Leo said, his voice steady, though his heart pounded. "The planet is ready for them. Now we wait." Arya stood beside him, her face calm but her eyes were distant. The connection they had shared with the heart core was still active, and Leo could feel the energy of the planet flowing through him. He could almost hear its heartbeat. "The battle won't be easy," she said quietly. "Even with the defenses, we are outnumbered, but we are not alone anymore." Leo turned to her, his brow furrowed. "What do you mean?" "The bond we share now," Arya began, her voice soft. "It's not just between us. This world, its heart, has chosen you. The people who once lived here, they trusted you. They believe in you." Leo's eyes widened. "They trust me," she nodded. "In the past, humans came to us. We believed you were capable of saving our world. You were always part of the plan. That's why you were brought back. You're not just an explorer. You're part of something bigger." Leo looked down at his glowing hand. "I didn't ask for this. I didn't know I had a purpose here." "Sometimes purpose finds you," Arya said softly. "And sometimes it's not the path you choose, but the one that chooses you." As she spoke, Leo felt a wave of connection between them. He didn't fully understand it, but he knew one thing for certain. This world, these people, everything here, was part of him now. He couldn't walk away. Not anymore. The rumble of the enemy fleet grew louder as it entered the planet's atmosphere. Leo felt his heart beat faster. "We don't have much time," Leo said, his voice more focused now. "We need to get to the command center. The defenses need to be activated manually to sync with the fleet's approach." Arya nodded. "I can guide you. Follow me." They ran across the open field toward a nearby hill, where an old command center stood, half buried under the weight of time. The building was made of the same strange, glowing materials that had powered the city long ago. It was a place of knowledge and control, the final line of defense. As they approached, Leo saw the first enemy ship break through the clouds, followed by more. The enemy was coming fast. "They're here," Leo said. "We have to hurry." Arya led him through the entrance of the command center. Inside, the walls were lined with ancient consoles and terminals. Some were still functional, though most were covered in dust. "The main terminal is ahead," Arya said, moving toward the far side of the room. "I can help you activate the systems, but you will need to make the final connection." Leo stepped forward and placed his hand on the terminal. As soon as he did, the walls lit up. The entire room hummed to life, and Leo felt a deep connection to everything. The planet's defenses, the systems, and the energy that flowed through it all. The large screen in front of them flickered to life, showing the enemy fleet closing in. Their ships were already targeting the planet. "We're running out of time," Leo said, his heart racing. "I'm opening the defense network," Arya said, tapping the console. "You need to initiate the final command. The core will guide you." Leo took a deep breath and placed both hands on the terminal. As soon as he did, a flood of information rushed into his mind. Coordinates, power grids, shield systems. He could feel it all. The planet's power was waiting for him to unlock it. "This is it," Leo said. "I need to link the system with the fleet's coordinates." It's the only way to stop them. Arya stepped back, giving him space. Do it. Leo focused, using the knowledge that had been unlocked inside him. The terminal responded to his touch, sending pulses of energy across the planet. Leo could feel the connection deepening, and as he did, the skies above darkened with the incoming enemy ships. The planet's defenses came alive. Energy shields formed around the cities. Massive energy cannons, hidden beneath mountains and forests, powered up. The defense network was ready. It's done, Leo said, stepping back from the terminal. The defenses are linked. The fleet won't make it through. Arya turned to him, her eyes filled with gratitude. You did it. Leo shook his head. We did it. Together. As the enemy fleet continued to approach, the first shots from the planet's defenses rang out. The enemy ships began to fall one by one as the energy shields and weapons fired with deadly accuracy. We've won, Leo said, looking at Arya. We've actually done it. Arya smiled softly, but there was something deeper in her eyes. Something he hadn't noticed before. What is it? Leo asked. I told you once, she said, her voice gentle. You're not just here by chance. You were always part of this world. And now I understand what you mean to me. Leo looked at her, his heart swelling with emotion. What do you mean? She stepped closer to him, taking his hand. You're more than a protector. You're the future. Not just for me, but for everything. For us. Leo smiled, his hand still glowing with the power of the planet. Together they had not only saved a world, they had found something deeper, something that connected them both. The battle had been won. But the real victory was just beginning.